Hi and welcome. Today we're going to be moving through 10 exercises to help strengthen our handstands. So what we're going to need is a strap and 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, books will work, something in the shape of a block. So we're going to get started with our strap in a kneeling position, taking some shoulder flossing. So knees are about hip width distance, hips stacked underneath shoulders, hips on top of knees. So engage the abdomen and then take the strap forward in front of us, hands pretty wide on the strap to start until we gauge the width that we need. Now I'm going to demonstrate what we're going to be doing here. We're taking our shoulder floss, so up and overhead and back, and then up and overhead and forward. Now notice how from the side, when I do that, there is no arching of the back like this when I go back. So if you're doing that, that means your hands are a little too close on your strap. So take them a little wider so that your spine can stay stacked without any motion as you move forward and back. The only motion is coming from your shoulders. So find your strap, the width that you need. And we're going to come and do 12 of these together. So inhale, up and overhead, exhale. Bring your hands back. Inhale up and exhale. Don't take these so deep at the beginning of your practice that they hurt. You want to just be warming into your shoulders. As you practice these, you'll be able to bring your hands closer. This is 4. Keep that spine long. 6. 7. Make sure you're breathing, inhaling up and over, exhaling down, inhaling up and over, and exhaling down. This is 9. 10. 2 more. Keep breathing. 11. And 12. Very good. All right. Drop that strap off to the side. Roll out those shoulders and just take a breather while I demonstrate the next exercise. So we're actually going to come into the same stance with our body. Now in our handstands, our hands are up overhead, but what commonly happens is we collapse in our neck because of the weight that is above our head when we're inverted. So in order to work on those muscles, we're just going to take some shoulder shrugs here. So we're taking the shoulders up towards the neck, nice and controlled, nice and slow, and then slowly drawing them away as far away from the ears as we can. We should actually feel a stretch here, pulling those shoulders as far down towards the hips as we can. So when you're ready, come into your setup position, kneeling, hips over knees, shoulders over hips. Hands are resting just down by our sides. If this feels super easy, you absolutely can take dumbbells or something to weight your hands a little bit more so these shrugs feel a little bit more difficult. But for right now, I encourage you to try them without any weights and see how it goes. So we're going to shrug those shoulders up towards those ears and then draw them down. Shrug them up, nice and controlled, and draw them down. Up. There shouldn't be a resting point in this exercise. So there's constantly engagement in your shoulders as you're pulling them up and down. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, drawing them away. Stay nice and engaged in your abdomen. 9, 10. Last 2. Quality over quantity. 12. Good. Now release that activation. Notice how that activation, when you're pulling your shoulders down, you feel something versus just resting here. You don't feel much. So that's the activation that we want as we move through that exercise. The next exercise I'll demonstrate. We're going to come into a plank and take scapula push-ups. So come to your plank, hips in line with the shoulders and heels, and then keeping the elbows straight. What we're doing is pinching the shoulder blades together, then spreading them apart. We're going to take 11 more of these. Spread them apart, pinch them together, spread them apart. Make sure the abdomen is engaged. Elbows stay straight. There's no bending in the arms. Quads are engaged. This is halfway. 7, 8, I'm counting on the pinch. 9, 10, 2 more. 11, pinch that pencil and spread the shoulder blades. Then drop those knees. Take those hips back towards a child's pose, giving yourself a little break before our next exercise. Press the palms into the hands, hips and heels melting together towards the back of the mat so that we're getting a stretch in the outer shoulders. Then walk your hands back towards your knees. Drop those heels to lift the hips up into a forward fold. So in our forward fold, this is going to be an exercise that uses that pressing of the hands into the mat, the protraction in the shoulders, and adding the compression of the abdomen. So hands on the mat, hips towards the sky. What we're doing here is lifting this left hip up and tapping the left toes towards the left wrist, then placing that left foot back down. So there's a lot of compression going on between the abdomen and the thigh. So we're going to take 12 of these on each side, switching left, right, left, right, left, right. So we'll take them together, tap the left toes towards the left wrist, tap the right toes towards the right wrist. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. This is halfway. Nice work. Keep pressing the hands into the mat, protracting those shoulders, engaging the abdomen. This is 10, 11, and 12. Tap the right foot and release. Forward fold. Head, neck, shoulders hanging. Do whatever you need to work out those shoulders. Handstands are a lot of shoulder work. Having our hips and legs and feet above our head when we're inverted takes a lot of strength there. So that's why we do so much strengthening in the shoulders. Good. So our next exercise, we're actually going to start from here. Now this one, you're actually going to need up against a wall. So you'll notice how my mat is up against a wall here. My butt is facing the wall. I'm about, if I turn around, an arm's width distance away from the wall here. The windowsill will be my wall. And then turn around, come into your forward fold, and place your hands down to bring your feet up to your wall. So find your wall, press yourself up, and hip stack over hands. Now we're going to take some steps off of the wall 1 foot at a time. So lift the left foot, bring it back down, lift the right foot, bring it back down, lift the left, then the right, left, right, left. Only 2 more of these. Take your right, left, right. Keep pressing into the hands. Hips stacked over shoulders. Left foot lifts. Right foot lifts. And then bring it down. Come into your forward fold. So those are very, very good for strengthening the shoulders. They help practice that pressing away, lengthening of the neck, so our shoulders aren't compressed with our ears. Take a second, release it out. Then walk into our down dog. Hands shoulder width distance, feet hip width distance. We're going to sit up for some down dog push-ups. Good. So from here, we're staying in our down dog, right? So our tummy is pressing towards our knees. All we're doing is bending at the elbows, head is tapping towards our thumbs, and we're pressing back to our down dog. So the elbows are coming out, and then pressing back. Out and back. So we're going to take 12 of these. So this is 5, 6. Remember, quality over quantity. If you can't do all 12, start with 8, then grow to 10, then grow to 12. Make sure your quality is more important than your quantity. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good. Drop those knees down. Take those hands back. Swing those arms. Make sure you're getting a little bit of a reprieve in between exercises. Our next exercise, we're going to need our blocks. So I'll show you from the side and then face forward as we do them together. But that idea of pressing our hands up overhead is really important here. And as you take your handstands away from the wall, you'll notice that in order to keep your length, you really have to keep your legs kicking tall. So pressing into the floor, the ground, whatever is beneath you is super important. So to practice this not upside down, we're going to take our blocks and imagine the blocks are our mat, our ground beneath us. We're pressing into them while drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Now from here, from our kneeling position, we're going to slowly come up, keeping our hands pressing into the blocks, and then come back down. So we're going to take 12 of these as well. I'll face you for this. Make sure your abdomen is super engaged. Core is engaged, hands pressing into the blocks up overhead, shoulders drawing away from the ears. So this is 1. Come up to kneel. Come back down nice and controlled. 2. 3. Tuck that pelvis slightly at the top. 4. 5. Nice work. Keep pressing into the block. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. And last one, take it to 12 and bring it down and release those hands. Good work. So our next exercise, we're going to take it to our mats. So come to sit on our glutes. And this is more of a hold than a repetition exercise again. We're stretching through the hamstrings, but we're activating that compression in our core. So come to a seated forward fold. Then I want you to imagine again like the wall is in front of your feet. So that pressing of the hand is if my hand is pressing into the floor. If you want to take your blocks to really like get that vision solid in your head, you can take your blocks just forward of your feet. But you're pressing your hands forward and then tucking your chin to your chest as if you're holding a handstand here, as if we're kind of doing those toe taps to our wrists. You're pressing away through the hands while pulling the head towards the feet. So we're going to hold for 10, 9, abdomen engaged, pulling your chest closer to the knees. 8, 7. Keep pressing. 6. Keep those fingers pulling back towards the forearms. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. And release. Good. Take your back shoulders stacked over your hips. Then scooch those hips forward and come down to our hollow hold. So hands can come to the knees as you rock yourself down. And hands by our sides. Now for hollow hold, again, this is a really good strengthener for the front of our body. As we come into our handstands, this is very much the position that we're going to be in as we handstand. So you want to make sure that as much of the back body is down as you can get. So even as low as this low neck on your back, the head will be lifted, but the hips and all the way up to your shoulders and low neck will be down. Now extend those legs long and hands by your sides, floating. So you're taking this low hover, but getting this hollow hold on the front of your body. We're going to hold here for 10. Engage the abdomen. 9. Ribs knitting together. 8. Embrace the shakes. 7. Relax the jaw. 6. 5. Maybe even extend the arms up overhead if you want more of a challenge. 4. 3. 2. 1. And release. Hands to the knees. Rock it left and right. Take a second to acknowledge the work that we just did. And take your hands behind the legs, rock it up, and come to an easy seat. Take your arms out and up. Inhale, exhale, hands to heart center. Thank you for joining me for today's handstand practice. I hope that these exercises are something you find useful, that you can revisit as you're working towards your handstands and strengthening them as you go. So thank you, and I hope to see you again on the mat soon. Namaste.